Peace, everybody. So I've been pondering on something for quite some time. I did a video on Tank a bit ago, and just happened to be pondering on some points that I've been thinking about and wanted to divulge a little bit with you regarding those topics regarding Tank. Okay. Tank hasn't fought in nearly a year, y'all. Okay. His last bout was against Ryan Garcia last April, right? April of 23. Despite, avid threats made via social media platforms, threatening to send contracts, to send offers and percentages and, doing live streams in the dark, giving himself, self-affirmations that he's the cream of the crop, the face of boxing, and been doing everything, buying property and all the likes of things like that. It just seems like he has no intention of getting in the ring with the elite at this particular point. He seems to have made his new home the warm, comforting parameters of Twitter, to be honest. And I know that reports have been, recently circulating about, possible fight in the UK. If you've been following up with that, you've seen reports of these types of speculations at the moment. I don't know if any of that is true, but some speculations have been surrounding a possible matchup with Jose Venezuela. I don't know. Okay. The only thing that I'm is like, what will we see with the return of Gervonta, Abdul Wahid Davis? Moreover, what I've been asking a lot is, what are his intentions? What are his intentions? Why is he so vague and secretive as of late? That puzzles me. What are his intentions? How come it's become a thing for him to remain elusive about his motives, just in general, surrounding the fighting? What is this elusiveness? He's made no qualms, no proclamations about what he intends to achieve for himself. And I find that quite weird, especially in an atmosphere where, you got people, trying to claim greatness and achieve titles and, wanting to solidify themselves, among the best of their generation, amongst their, kinmen. Why are there no claims from him of that likeness? That's quite awkward to me, okay? Especially considering that a part of the relationship that the boxing community upholds with their fighter, that dynamic between the fight fan and the fighter, the warrior themselves, a lot of that is predicated, at least on the fans' part, that they know from their fighter what, their fighter's goals are, the plans are, what sights they have for themselves, what intentions are set with the fighter. That's a part of the relationship and the dynamic that a fan builds with the fighter that they support, is in knowing his goals so that they could ride with him, and cheer him on as he goes to attain that and show up for him in support of him chasing those particular ambitions. As an avid supporter of boxing myself, that's what I look forward to. I look forward to knowing and seeing their development because I'm on the journey with them. I'm right there with them, supporting their vision, rooting for them, standing with them through the process, through all of their processes. Win, lose, or draw, I am there. I find it peculiar that Tank has no such clarity with his audience. He kind of comes and goes and doesn't provide an outline, a means to an end, nothing for his people. No long-term projections, no sincere aims are shared. Like, what is in the mind of this young man? Where does he want to go? What does he want to claim? What is the overview? I'm quite bewildered about that. Moreover, Speaking of overview, what's the purpose of GTD? I say this because, I mean, as of now, I see no effectiveness for it. I see no purpose for it. What is the proposed functionality of GTD promotions if it is not for the servicing of, the establishment of, solidifying fights of note, like the big fights? What is the purpose of GTD promotions if it is not to have an outset for solidifying the fights that the fans want to see across the board? If it's not doing that, what is it here? Just so you can sound cute to say GTD promotions, just to have some independence so you can sound independent, or grown up. What was interesting also was that he recently said on Twitter, once again, because Twitter is the platform for these, for all the activity. It's not the Ring anymore. It's Twitter. So he came out on Twitter. He said, "I'm prepared for whatever they send." I'll repeat that again. Gervonta Abdul Wahid Davis said, quote, "I'm prepared for whatever they send," end quote. Who the fuck is they? Let's ask that question to ourselves, y'all. Who the fuck is they? Aren't you your own boss? What's happening here? Like, do I have it wrong? Or is GTD of no merit, of no substance, of no concrete, basis? Is this a figment of his imagination, GTD promotions? How are you your own boss with your own promotional company and simultaneously say that you're waiting on whoever they send? Who the fuck is they? Who was in charge of sending you anything? Wouldn't GTD signify that you intend to get your food for yourself? How is this man talking with two tongues at the same time? They? What the hell? Why can such a thing also be going over people's heads? Like, it's almost as if GTD is a figment of one's imagination because nobody fucking talks about it. And nobody addresses Tank like he's the head of what he says he's the promoter of, or he's in charge of, or the director of, Are you not negotiating on your own behalf? Are you not configuring terms and making projections directly with networks and so forth and so on? Like, how are you still taking a passenger seat position in your discourse and in your moves? How? What function is GTD serving if that's the case? GTD is smoke, it's air at this point, because it certainly isn't anything materialized with this type of language. You don't wait for anything as your own boss. You the driver, you the captain, you command. You set the tone, the pace, the course, the direction. You don't sit and wait in a submissive position. So how is this talk even garnering any sense of reality around you supposing such a position that you have this GTD? Where's the materialization of it? Is it even real? What the fuck is going on? I can't help but to ask that because it's quite peculiar to me. He hasn't yet established, a resume that seems to have the intention set on it that he wants to contend and compete with the best of the best, right? So let's just say this, for example, it's possible to assume that under previous guidance, one may have the excuse of saying, okay, well, because he was under the guidance of, let's say, Mayweather Promotions and all of that, you were just in the past feeding, what was thrown in front of you. You just took what was given to you, right? If we're speaking retrospectively right now, looking at him being associated under the promotional guidance of Mayweather Promotions and the like, right? But now you have no such cloak. You have no such shelter as your own promoter. You can't use that as a shield with GTD Promotions. You can't use the same lingo that you did. Oh, I just take what was given to me. You're in a driver's seat now. If you don't assume the position of creating opportunities for the best matchups to be made, then it is you who will be fully discredited for it now. With GTD, that's what it's saying. That you take the credit, you take the fall, you take the gain, everything associated with whatever comes your way, with whatever you set forth. That's what the boss does. Is that something that we can really look forward to in 2024? Or will the lagging continue? Will this back and forth, submissive posture with a dominant claim be happening? You can't have two things at once. I mean, you can, but depending on what it is, the flexibility is definitely there for that. But you cannot be saying two opposite things at once. You cannot be dichomatic in your language and in your movements. They must flow together in order to have some coherency. What the hell is going on here? Is he interested in creating a valid legacy for himself, Gervonta? That's a severe question, a multi-layered question, to keep it real with you. For example, he has yet to fight Lomachenko. Why? I have no clue. Loma has been, the bee's knees of that division for far too long a time for him not to have faced him yet at this point. How the hell is Kambosos getting him before you? Doesn't make sense. Except for the fact that when you really dissect it, at this particular point, Kambosos' resume stands to be, completely dominant over your own. In the past year, his resume completely shatters Gervonta's. He fought Tio. He beat Tio. He fought Dev twice in his backyard. Now he's coming after Loma's head. That's a serious, just those three alone. Tank's last three fights was Cruz, Rowley, and Garcia, with Garcia being, of course, the one of some actual note, some actual clout. Is 2024 simply going to be a redundant lapse of what we've been seeing of Tank for the past 3-4 years? I certainly hope not, because I'm a fan of his and I really dig him, and I just want to see some action. I want to see why he calls himself the face of boxing. I want to see it shown and proven. I've seen him win time after time and have spectacular performances, spectacular knockouts. I've seen him with a broken hand fight his way through it, beat the shit out of Cruz. And you know what I'm saying? I've seen these types of levels and things that he's tapped into, but I have yet to see him sharpen his sword among a fellow elite. That's something that I'm waiting to see. That's something that I'm fully backing. That's something I fully want to see happen. 100%. I don't like this vagueness of not sharing is he not sharing his intentions because he doesn't have any? He doesn't have any intention on fighting the best? I'm puzzled, y'all, for real. No intention to meet the best, no intention on conquering elite opponents, no intention to provide his true supporters with matchups that will mark an era that they'll always remember in boxing. That's what I want. I want to look fucking 15 years, 20 years from now and be like, yo, my God. Ooh, remember when Gervonta fought this? Damn. This was a spectacular fight. You just had to be there. I want some fights of note in my era. I don't want to only look to the 80s, the 70s, the 40s, the 30s for that shit. I'm here now with some great warriors in my presence. I want to see y'all hash that shit out. I want to see it. I want to be a part of it. I want to support it. Why am I being denied that as a boxing fan? And particularly a fan of his. since he's the subject matter of today? What is the reason for his carelessness? And why do we as his supporters, just become so accepting of that, What do we think about being handled in that particular way by him and through the choices that he makes? Why are we backing that particular aspect of his movements and decisions? Tank is definitely beloved and acclaimed for his sellout power and drawing capacity. There's no doubt about that. So what that means is that, he has obviously one of the largest bases in the sport. Tank fans, what they do is that they show up. Okay, they show up, they prove their attentiveness, their legion, their regard for this young king, okay? But where is the reciprocity? Why is he not displaying the same amount of angst to show up for his fans by giving them the best fights? What is causing the distance, the limitation here? Is it simply a one-sided relationship, where it's all him and he doesn't lean in to give us the things that we want as well, because we show up with our dollars, with our visions, with our tweets, with our everything, we doing our part as his fans. Where the fuck is his part? Is his motive to dangle the carrot in front of us for his entire career, teasing us with social media beefs and proclamations of him being the face of boxing, but never proving it? Are his supporters overwhelmingly accepting of this walking on eggshell approach that he's assumed? If so, why come? Why come? Especially when all types of demands and propositions and stipulations are made for fighters like Devin Haney. Whether they're fans of his or not, they demand Devin, go fight Boots, or go fight Matias, or go fight this, go fight that. As you should. That's not a problem with that. You should be wanting to see the best fight the best, or who's deemed to be the best. You should be wanting to see that. But why aren't those same demands made on Tank? And he's supposed to be the face of this. The glove has to be pulled inside out. It cannot just be one way. Make the demands and the stipulations and propositions for all of these people, for all of these young kings, because they should be facing each other. One doesn't get to go motherfucking take care of all the business, and one gets to sit down and paint his goddamn toenails. No. Make the stipulations across the board. Where is the same command, threat, ultimatum for Tank to fight stiff competition? And I mean promptly, not down the line, right now. Where are those demands on his part? Where are those impositions that they throw out, just the way they throw out to Dev? Where's the haste to see Tank achieve something worthwhile? Dev can't be the only one setting records and creating standards out here. Y'all don't want to give him the coveted title of face of boxing, but you damn sure want him to prove it to you. Go through all the means and measures to jump over every obstacle and rope that he can get to. But you won't credit him with the title. The real pertinent and pressing question here that I implore you to ponder for yourselves is this: is Tank satisfied with remaining on the fringes of an alleged greatness forever? Forever, ever? He's a warrior of a man, but he is a warrior of a man who refuses, from what it seems at this particular point, to combat with his most notable foes, adversaries, rivals. How is that okay? How does he himself make that permissible in his own mind? Is creating a solid legacy something that he even contemplates? Does he care about creating the building blocks just the same way that the GOATs before him did? I wonder about his mentality, his personal ambitions outside of the money making. Outside of the money making, because it's like, oh, well, he done made your money. It's like, yeah, you know how people give the passes out and all that fucking soft ass shit. Oh, well, he made the money. He don't really have to do. Yes, the fuck he does. This is what you do when you're a warrior. Go be a goddamn gardener if you want some soft work. You got to show and prove here. That's what I'm about. That's what I stand for. Sugar-free Mars. Nothing sweet with me. Nothing sweet with me. I want to see my fighters go to war. And I support them fully in that. Win, lose, or draw, but you got to put the work in. The work has to be done. You know, what is he saying with this particular boxing career path that he's chosen in the specific way that he's chosen to do it? What is it saying? This particular career of his, what is that saying? How is that being translated? Is a serious question. Moreover, because as you can tell, I have quite a number of opinions regarding this young man who I support, and I'm very critical because I support him. Why is he not saying Shakur's name? Am I tripping, or are they in the same division? Because to my understanding, they're in the goddamn same division last time I checked. Why is he not saying Shakur's name? Why is Shakur not saying his name? Why is there no language surrounding each other? Is it forbidden to utter Shakur's name? Is he liable to get in trouble? If he says Shakur's name 5 times, is he afraid he's going to appear behind him in the mirror? Like, shouldn't you be yelling this man's name out from the mountaintop, calling for his head to be delivered to you on a stake? Okay, why is all this silence? Shouldn't the shambles of 135 be the hunting ground for Tank Davis? Why is all this prey running around? All this prey, just happy and frolicking and feeding and breeding and just safe and comfortable and just nestled into their ego. Cozy. 135 is so cozy right now. What the hell? None of them, not one motherfucking one of them should be feeling so secure right now. They should be looking in every goddamn dark crevice and corner, trembling at the thought of you. Afraid to go to sleep at night, 135. Nobody should be warm and cozy in this division. A drive-by could happen at any moment. That should be on their minds at all times. Oh shit, we ain't safe here, y'all. Everybody should be trembling at the thought of each other, not even just Tank, at the thought of each other. Where's the smoke? All I smell is fucking roses and daisies. I don't smell nothing on fire. I don't know, y'all. It's looking crazy out here. Hopefully we get some momentum going on with Tank Davis. I want to see some head tops flying from one corner of the room to the other. I want to see some beatings. I want to see some passion. I want to see some sportsmanship. I really want to see the elite, stepping up to face each other. That's what I want to see. And hopefully, Tank is bringing us some heat. Hopefully he's not fighting just one time this year or whatever, like he's been, doing off and on for the past few years. One year he'll have something like 2 fights. Next year is 1 fight. Hopefully we see some activity with the young king. Enough is a goddamn enough. People can say, oh, well, these things have to be built up, the anticipation, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I don't need it in this way. Anticipation is supposed to lead up to a finality. It's supposed to have an end game. I don't want to just, have a carrot dangling in front of me forever. Like, we need to concretize these bouts. And I know I'm not the only one. I see a lot of people, getting really, really anxious about the end game of these things, because it's looking bad out here for many of these young kings who we've been waiting on to show and prove. And Tank is definitely one of them. He has no excuse, especially when he wants the coveted title and he wants to tote the banner of being the face of boxing. You have no excuse. You should be setting the pace and showing the example, not Devin. Well, Devin is, in a whole nother division now, and he did more than you've ever managed to do so far. And you don't want with the title. You don't want, that's the public darling that's given this title. You got to show up and prove, King. Show up and prove what time it is, because I'm waiting to see it. Anyway, y'all, on to the next. Peace.